And being in the Garden last night was truly a surreal experience for me as a sports fan. The Knicks in my lifetime have never actually had a real path to winning a championship. The best team before this year in my lifetime as a Knicks fan was in 2013, the 54-win Carmelo team that ultimately lost in 6 games to the Pacers. And I want revenge. We'll get to Indiana, but I want revenge for that series in this matchup here. Last year was great, but you knew the Knicks were not going to be able to win a championship given the amount of injuries they had. It wasn't possible. It was a great run. But last night was the culmination of what the Knicks have been building since they hired Leon Rose and Tom Thibodeau. The last couple of years, the New York Knicks went out there and they made the playoffs for the last 5 years. The last 3, they won a round. But they made the moves this past offseason, right? Trading for Cat, trading for Mikal Bridges to get to a conference finals, to take the next step. That's what it was all about. And for the Knicks to beat Boston, and let's not have revisionist history. Boston went into the series minus 1,000 to win. The Knicks were a historic underdog for a second-round matchup. You see lines like that for an 8 seed taking on the 1 seed in the opening round. The way the Knicks were covered, it was they have no chance. Not a soul picked them. No one. Unless you're a Knicks fan, you didn't pick them. And a lot of Knicks fans weren't picking them. And you can't blame anyone for feeling that way. I thought the Knicks were not going to win the series. But the way that it changed so quickly, where it went from the Knicks don't have a chance to now they have to win the series, right? Tatum gets hurt, which, by the way, any Celtic fan using that as an excuse, shame on you. No one gave the Knicks a break when their entire team was hurt last year against Indiana. And look, you hate seeing Tatum suffer that gruesome of an injury, but let's say it was just a regular injury that would cost him a week or two. Bottom line is, the Knicks were up 3-1 with Tatum playing. Tatum got hurt with 2 minutes left with the Knicks up 9. Knicks were better. And last night encapsulated that. It was the Knicks finally showing what they could do when it all clicks. And that experience last night, being in that building, it was a party. Everything the Knicks have been building for was on the line last night. You couldn't let it get to a Game 7. You played poorly in Game 5. Brunson with the foul issues, Cat being awful, Bridges and OG a combined 5 of 26. And then on the other side, just Derek White didn't miss. Luke Cornett turned into Hakeem Olajuwon. It just wasn't the Knicks night. And the Knicks knew they were coming home last night with an opportunity to defeat the defending champs and put them away. And they came out last night, and the way the Knicks started the game defensively, that's what won them the game. They did not let Derek White go off. Jaylen Brown was the only true scorer they had. They made sure Cornette wasn't going to do what he did in Game 5. Pritchard was off last night. A lot of the things Boston needed to win Game 5, I didn't think was sustainable for Game 6. And while I thought it would be a real close game, because that's what the Knicks have done, right? The Knicks don't blow anyone out. Every game they've won in the playoffs has been dramatic. That's why they're called the Cardiac Knicks. But the Knicks played a dominant game. Their best of the playoffs by far. Defensively, they were great. Cat setting the tone early, being aggressive, not letting the BS three-pointer he hit that they overturned where he was fouled and they called the offensive foul on him, not letting that impact his mentality. What Josh Hart brings to the table. What Mitchell Robinson brings to the table, man. I'm so happy for that guy. Guy was on teams that were winning 17 games, dealing with injuries, subject of trade rumors. And that play that Mitch defended all 5 Boston Celtics, came up with the steal on Brown, then passed to Hart, who went down the lane and finished with an N1. That was one of the loudest crowd pops I've ever heard. Just an unbelievable performance by everyone last night. And it was just a party, man. The game was never in doubt. That's what shocked me. There was never that run by the Celtics that made you thought, okay, hey, we got to wake up here. We got to tighten up. It's not over yet. With 5 minutes to go in the second quarter, Boston called timeout. I looked at the scoreboard, and Jalen Brunson had 4 points. And the Knicks were up 20. And I said, this can't be real. It was an out-of-body experience. How are the Knicks up 20 with the best player on the floor? He only has 4 points in the first half. And then Brunson scores like 8 points before halftime. The Knicks were up 27 at the half, and you're thinking, there's just no way it's going to be this easy. No way. And then guess what? They came out of the third quarter and continued to kick their ass. It was unreal. It was like the Jet playoff win against the Colts, 41-0. You know, like in my lifetime rooting for my teams, we don't get wins like that. And the Knicks, in the biggest game played at the Garden this century, seriously, that's not hyperbole. Knicks haven't clinched a series at home since 1999. Haven't been to the conference finals since 2000. And it was just a party from that point on. The game was never in doubt. The victory cigar for the Knicks was P.J. Tucker coming in off the bench because the crowd's chanting for him. Truly an unbelievable experience, an out-of-body experience being there. It was never a doubt. They dominated, man. Dominated. I mean, 119-81. It could have been worse if the Knicks won it. I mean, Jaylen Brown fouled out in the third quarter. You knew it was over. It was already over before then, but like it was really over then. A stunning, dominating performance by the Knicks. What else can you say? I mean, wow. Just unreal, man. And the Knicks have been building for this and knocking on that door, and they finally broke through. And it started with Leon Rose and Tom Thibodeau. They have built it the right way. This team is mentally tough. They don't let the outside noise affect them. And they continue to prove all the doubters wrong. And now, this is the best chance the Knicks have had legitimately to win a championship since 94. I know they made the finals in 99, but they were not going to beat that Spurs team. That was the start of a dynasty, as we all know. They were an 8 seed that got there. Great run. This is the Knicks' best chance at it, man. They're 4 wins from the finals, 8 from a title. And let's be real. They're favored against Indiana. I don't think it's going to be easy. I think Indiana's really good. I think they're better than they were last year, but so are the Knicks. And the difference is, I'm knocking on all the wood here, the Knicks are healthy right now. And you got a chance. And that's all you could ask for as a Knick. It's opened up. Take advantage. It wasn't maybe supposed to be this year, but you know what? Why not? You're this close. You're the favorites in the conference finals. You have home court advantage. If Denver somehow beats OKC tomorrow, the Knicks would actually have home court in the NBA Finals. It is all right there for them. And we'll have more time to preview Indiana and that series on this show than on my radio shows this week. But, man, the Knick fan deserves this. I know so much of my audience are obviously Jet fans, but also Knick fans. The Knick fan deserves it because here's what people fail to realize. I've seen a lot of this. Oh, Knick fans going crazy like they won the championship, celebrating a second-round playoff series. They don't get it. They don't get it. In New York, the Knicks are the only team that can unite the entire city, the tri-state area. The only team. The Nets represent 5% of the fan base in the area. The Knicks have 95%, and we're the biggest city in the world. Think about that. And the history of the Knicks that dates back to 1946. That's why it's different with the Knicks. For every Yankee fan, you're going to find Met fans. There's Jets and Giant fans. There's 3 hockey teams. There's only 1 true basketball team. And for anyone who's really 35 and under, this is the best it's been. You've had nothing. You had 1 year of Carmelo losing in the second round. You had Linsanity for a little bit. This run, the Jalen Brunson era, this is the best it's ever been. You haven't seen this. The Knick fan around my age and younger has not seen this. We don't remember 2000. I don't. I was alive, but I don't remember it. My earliest Knick memories are getting swept by the Nets in 2004. Isaiah Thomas, Eddie Curry. My favorite Knick as a kid was David Lee. I looked up the date today of that tip-in he had with 0.3 seconds to go, or 0.1 seconds to go. December of 2006. Like, I have been a diehard Knicks fan for a long time. And all we've had is just pain, disappointment, never moving up in the lottery, getting clowned on by everyone. All these different coaches and GMs, Phil Jackson, Ronaldo Balkman, Andre Bargnani trying to somehow justify that trade. I mean, Lou Munson, Ron Baker, Tim Hardaway twice. I mean, I could keep going, but any real Knicks fan knows what I'm talking about. That's why New York is going crazy. That's why this fan base is giddy, because we have waited. We have not seen this. And if you were around for those great 90s teams, think about how long ago that was already. Every time you go to a Knicks game and they show a previous Knicks alum, they're showing all the guys from either the 70 championship teams, Bernard King in the 80s, or they're showing Starks and Ewing and Sprewell and LJ. These are the guys they're showing, because there's a huge gap outside of a couple years of Carmelo where it has just been all bad. That's why the Knicks fan is so passionate and celebrating, because this is the best many of us have seen. And it's that one team that unites everybody. And basketball is huge in New York. Huge. There's a basketball court everywhere. That's the thing that people don't understand outside of this area. It's not just that they advanced past the second round. It's all the history. It's the fact that the Knicks play in the biggest city in the world, and it's the only team that could actually get the entire city to root for the same thing. If you're in Boston, everyone roots for the Celtics. Everyone roots for the Patriots. Everyone roots for the Bruins. Right? Everyone roots for the same teams. That's it. Everyone roots for those teams. Red Sox. There's not another baseball team in Boston. If you're in Philly, everyone roots for the Phillies. Everyone roots for the Eagles or the Flyers or the 76ers. And Joel Embiid has still never been to a conference finals. And Karl Anthony Towns has now been to one in each conference. I'd like to point out. But the point is, these other huge cities, right? Philly's a huge city. Boston's a huge city. These are great sports cities. Passionate fans. Those are the only options. We have two of everything here. 3 hockey teams. We got 2 soccer teams. It's different. And the thing that people don't realize, and it has drove me crazy when I see fans of other teams be like, oh, Knicks fans go crazy celebrating. They beat Boston. Boston Celtics. F Boston. All right? No New Yorker likes Boston. They are also the defending champs. And the narrative was coming in, and not just to this series, but every series, is the Knicks are not good. They're fake good. They're not good enough to beat any good team. So miss me with the, oh, Knicks fans are too excited. Let us be fans, man. All right? The moral police out there, suck it. Let people be excited. All right? Let people be happy. As long as the Knicks themselves don't think they won the championship, which if you watch the press conference last night, they don't. If you listen to Tom Thibodeau, or you listen to Jalen Brunson or Mikal Bridges or Karl Anthony Towns or Josh Hart, they know there's still work to be done. They know they still got to win 8 more games. We're halfway home. But the fan base gets to enjoy, because guess what? The fan base was here before any of those players or coaches I just mentioned, and we will be here after any of those players or coaches I've mentioned. That's what people don't understand. This is a fan base that is starving. Right? Starving. And they are on the precipice of having a legitimate opportunity to do something that has not been done by a Knicks team since 1973. It was an out-of-body experience being there last night. I enjoyed every second of it. It was never a doubt. Never a doubt. And that is special for anyone who has lived and died watching this team, who doesn't remember those great 90s teams that ultimately didn't win They came up short, and they're beloved. And when they say, if you win in New York, there is no better place, this is what we're talking about. When they say, when you win in New York, there's no better place, this is what we're talking about. Is it hard to play in New York? Does it take someone with the right mentality who can handle it? Absolutely. Can this place be really, really hard if you suck? 100%. But if you win here, there's no better place. Let's go Knicks.